Hey everybody, okay, I just want to do another tutorial for you guys, and this is going to be how to contour your face. So I'm going to go over how to contour your nose, the different types of highlighters, things like that, different things that you can do, skincare, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start. So the very first thing I want to talk about is moisturizing your skin. It is extremely important whether you're oily skin or not. Moisturizers keep it just healthy looking and keep your skin looking young. That is probably one of the most important things. And then the other thing, primers. Why are primers so important? What primers basically do to the skin is basically say, this is a wrinkle. Okay, and then this is your primer. And what a primer is basically doing is going onto your skin and filling in that wrinkle, giving you a smooth surface for you to apply your foundation on. So, and then there's tons of different kinds of primers. There's color correcting primers, there's photo loving primers, the water primers. It's just your personal preference on what you like. You know, are those that mattify the skin, those that hydrate the skin. So depending on your skin type and whatever you use what works for you. There is the convenience of the spray ones because you literally just spray it on and they're a little more hydrating. I personally like the cream ones. This is the NIX Photo Loving Primer. And that is the first thing you, underneath, I've already moisturized my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I especially need it there, in here. So, and primers do take a little while to dry. So you do want to let them sit on your skin for about 2 to 3 minutes. So that's quite important before you start applying anything to them. Now, one other thing is eye care and how to prime your eyes. You can place your actual primer on the eyes, but what you really want to do is be treating the problem. And I'm a very, very, very much about this eye primer, right? I mean, this eye cream right here. It is Fast Response Eye Cream by MAC, and it gives the most amazing results ever. Basically, very little is enough, and that's just enough for down here and up here. Basically, just place that onto the eye. Actually, that was not enough. My skin's a little dry because I did just wash it, so normally that is enough. And place that on the eye, and now while that is still wet, you want to prime your eye. So basically, at this point, you want to take an eye primer. I'm going to take a flesh colored primer, and this one's by NYX, and basically just priming my eyelid and underneath my eye, and it's basically going to act as my under eye concealer. And I like to actually apply that while everything is still wet around the eyes, because then it just helps it glide on a little bit better. And then underneath the eye, I always feel like, you need a little bit more coverage. So this is actually where your, so we're going to let all this dry. And now we can actually start highlighting and moisturizing the skin, pretty much. So I'm going to go ahead and take Strobe Cream by MAC. And I really like this one because it has mineralized pearl pigments in it. And I'm just going to take a dot. And I'm going to go basically anywhere I want extra light infused, which is pretty much underneath my eyes for damn sure. Oops. I'm not supposed to swear. But, so I'm highlighting. And this can go over your foundation or underneath, just depending. I want to give it a little bit more of a sheer effect because I usually cake on the makeup underneath my eyes. So, and then right up in here where I have those deep set wrinkles, which bother the living crap out of me. And then down here, so. Now we're letting all that dry. So now, I'm going to go ahead and take my, now it's been 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and take my foundation. And I do want to sheer it out a little bit, and this is by the Artistry Company. So I'm going to take a drop of foundation. And some moisturizer, and mix those together. And then basically, all over my face. And technically, you can do this with a brush, you can do this with a sponge. Personally, it's your own skin. Go ahead and use your fingers. I'm not the makeup police, it doesn't matter. And now we're going to give that a second to dry. So now we're going to get into now that we've applied our foundation, we've done our skincare, we've kind of highlighted where we needed to highlight, we've placed the right products on our skin, I'm going to go ahead and start taking our, while my foundation is drying, and yes, it is a shade lighter, because it is going to end up being a highlighting, and then when we go through with our cream contouring palette, obviously I use this one a lot, and I'm going to go and use the darkest colors that I have on my palette, just for contouring for teaching purposes. And I'm using a good little angled brush, making sure I get some good product. And now you want to think about it this way. Think from the back of the ear to where the eye starts. And just give it a good little smile. So once again, from the top of the ear to where the eye starts. So it should end about right there. So, top of the ear, eye starts, smile. Top of the ear, eye starts, smile. If they're a little off, it doesn't matter. You're going to blend it all anyway. So, we've gotten that one. Once again, with that darker color, think about from the temple to the eyebrow. Temple to the eyebrow, to the end of the eyebrow. And then up here at the hairline, just think dot, dot, dot. I usually just take whatever's left off my brush and then just kind of, because you're going to all blend it this way anyway, so just follow the hairline. Simple as that. So dot, dot, dot. Now I'm going to go underneath from the bottom of the ear, underneath the jawline to where the mouth starts. So for the most part, this is just a basic contour. Depending on your face shape, this will work for your face shape. It's just depending on where you need to blend to. So obviously, so back of the ear to where the mouth starts. Think about it that way. Now you can also just kind of come down in here on the sides to create a thinner face. No, and it just gives a little bit more color that way. So now around the mouth, and now I'm going to take a smaller brush. And again, we're still contouring with the cream. The nose, this is how we're going to think of the nose. You're going to start from the inner rim of the eye, go down the bridge. And then when you get to about here, just draw a triangle. One more time. Inner rim of the eye, get to the bridge of the nose, draw backwards. So now, underneath, we're going to do a smile right under here. Right in here, we're just going to do a little dot close to the each nostril underneath. And now on top of the nose, you don't have to do this one. Some noses don't require it, but you can actually draw a smile or a little frown up here. So think about it this way. You're going from the inner eye down to the bridge of your nose, going backwards, making an L. And then you are going to draw a little smile or a frown here. Make sure they do not connect. And then again on the other side, a smile here, a little smile here, and a little smile here. So now, and then around the mouth, you want to take a dark color there. There. Think about the four corners of the mouth because you want to create full lips. Now, if your lips are already full, don't do this. And never draw the lines outwards because then you're creating little wrinkles. So you never want to add wrinkles, you just want to decrease wrinkles. So, and now, think about the contouring to here. So, if we're going from the inner rim of the eye, you almost want to think about it going this way, contouring the inner rim. So you kind of want that to blend in where the darker contour is. Think about it that way. So remember, all right, so we're going to go back through and with all the darker contouring. We are going to go from the top of the ear to where the eye begins, or to where the end of the eye is. Yes, it did. Thanks, Sarah. From here to here, and it just kind of lines up. Same thing right here from the temple to the end of the brow. From the back of the ear to where the mouth begins, and it's under the jawline. And then you can just kind of go down on each. See these little lines here? You can kind of right there. Now for the nose, once again, and you can, this is a contour up in here. So think about it going from the rim of the eye all the way down the nose. And again, each four corners of the mouth. So this is how we do our darker contour. So I'm going to go through and just kind of, this is very dramatic contouring here, but I want to make sure, you know, you really just kind of get the idea and the technique down. So now we're going to go through with our highlight. And again, I'm using the brightest color, darkest and brightest colors on my palette just to give you the idea. And if you have a palette like this, mix and match the colors. Because like say your cheeks, go ahead and use a darker one. Up here, you don't need to use such a darker contour. Things like that. Underneath the jaw, you don't need such a dark contour. And, you know, remember these beige colors here are all different just for the one reason that some of them, with a little more yellow, will work better under your eyes. Some with more of an orange base will probably work better around the cheekbones, things like that. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this brush, and I'm going to go ahead and use my lightest color in here. And we're going to go under the eyes. And here's the trick with under the eyes. You do want to go this way, but you also want to bring it down this way. Think about it that way. Again, so going down and out. So anywhere where there is no contouring, we want to highlight all in between. So highlight, highlight, highlight. Now, I have these things here, so I do highlight in between them, my little laugh lines. And I just kind of diffuse them a little bit. Now for the nose, you're going to go up the nose, all the way up. And then you are going to bring one line out this way, and one line out that way. So it does, these don't have to be perfectly shaped, but think one going up, to the left, and to the right. Easy as that. In here, we highlight because we don't have any contouring there. It's again under here because we contoured around the mouth area. Same thing again. Highlight, highlight, highlight. Hey Christina, how are you? So, you kind of get this idea. It's pretty easy. It's just kind of where the placements are and things like that. And no one ever really kind of breaks it down as into just little shapes. So once we have this part down, remember these are creams, so they're heavier. You don't need a lot. Just going down the neck. So if you have a double chin, highlight in here. If you have a square face, like if your face is very square, just round it out. Just highlight going underneath the jawbone all the way down again. If your face is very square, don't highlight up here, just highlight down here. So don't highlight in this area, highlight down here from the chin to the end of the eye, because your face is already very square. Think about it that way. But now, so if we can all see this, so now you want to go ahead and take your beauty blender, take your brush, whichever. I'm not the makeup police. Personally, I think these things take me longer to, I used this brush to apply the darker contour, which is by Crown. It's a very firm bristle. You can actually just do it with a foundation brush, believe it or not. So if you just have a good foundation brush, you can still draw it onto. At the same time, same thing with the highlight. And then I used this brush to do the nose, darker contouring, and around the mouth, which we have our 4 lines right there. And then this one for the highlighting. Alright, so I'm going to do... Now, the thing with the pros and cons about beauty blenders, sponges, and brushes. Excuse me. Pros and cons. Beauty blenders are sponges, so they do tend to absorb more makeup than you do put on your face. And that does tend to happen sometimes. That's why a lot of people are turning to the brushes, because you aren't wasting so much makeup. And with creams, you definitely want to put like a good base on them. I actually like to go back through with a water primer or any kind of marula oil, anything like that, that'll just basically help spread and blend these. So I'm going to go through and now blend, 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 and this kind of really frustrates me because I'm kind of like an instant fix person. So go through and blend, 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 blend. And little circles the whole time. And this is a blender by Crown. Okay, so this side is blended. Almost. I'm just using, see, I just kind of, this is easier and quicker to me than that little brush, because I'm just sitting there. It frustrates me. I'm a very hyper person to begin with, and just, yeah, it's just quicker. It's just quicker. It's personal preference. It really is. So you can clearly see one side blended, the other side is not. And it was, you know, very, very heavy. And now I look a lot more contoured. I have more diffusion over here on this side, which is my deep set wrinkle there. So I'm going to go and just use my Beauty Blender on this side. So things that touch directly to your skin, i.e. skincare, primers, moisturizers, foundation, spend money on. Other things, eyeshadows, lipstick, stuff like that, unless, you know, you have really demanding or aging skin, you're good. Alright, so I'm blended. I'm completely blended, covered, and concealed. So you can clearly see it's pretty good. I still got some contour. Now, if you want more definition, say at this point you wanted to, say you have oily skin, you can actually take now a powder contour, or even just a regular bronzer. And here's a cool, nifty little trick. Okay, so you can just do this with a quick bronzer, and this is a cool trick, and with a big fluffy brush. Take your bronzer. It can be iridescent, it can be matte, it doesn't matter, it's your personal preference. And I am using an angled brush. Now think about doing a giant E on the face. 1, 2, and then under the jaw. So, and then blend it in. And then just kind of blend down. Oh, the brand that I'm using is by Crown, both of them. It's the cream concealer palette and then the contouring palette. I really like them. So you can clearly see. So big E, giant E, cheekbone, underneath. And usually when I feel like you do this, you don't need any blush or anything like that. So it just gives a little bit more oomph, nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy, because we don't need all that. It's just very simple, and it's none of this, because I bought that thing and I regretted it immediately after, and I don't even use it on my clients when I'm doing their makeup. Once again, take some contour or some bronzer, line, line, and then underneath the jaw, big E, and then blend, 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 blend. My favorite words there, and then just blend down. And now you can see I clearly have a lot more, everything matches a lot better now. So, and there we go. You can do more. You can actually take your highlighter again and place it under here if you really, really want to. Where's my highlighter? You can actually do it with a powder. You can do it with a cream. I'm going to show you the example with a cream. This is Strobe Cream by MAC. And I really like it as a highlighter. And we can just tap, 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 tap. It really is very simple when you just kind of get it down and break it down into shapes. And I'm going to go back through and repost this video on my YouTube channel. So it's my name, Bren Batico. Feel free to add me as a friend. Follow me on Instagram, Bren Batico. It's all my name. You can just Google my name and every one of my accounts will pop up. I've been doing makeup for over 20 years and just giving it, you know, giving you all my info. But there we go. Everyday contouring, simple look. You just want to set it with a locking spray depending what kind of skin you have. You just don't want it to go nowhere. But that was it. That's basic contouring 101. You know, the difference between beauty blenders. But yeah, there's also things like powder foundations you can use that really work very well, depending on your skin type and what you're comfortable doing. You know, just remember, you're the one wearing it, no one else. Don't let anybody decide for you. And so you can clearly see. I just want to get close so everybody can see. Setting spray, do I prefer? It really just depends on your skin type. It honestly really does. The one I have right here is Get Locked by Femme Couture. I've used the one by MYX. I've even used, my favorite one actually would probably be Ben Nye Final Seal. That one would be my absolute favorite. Because it's absolutely sweat proof and it smells like mint. So that's always nice. Now, yes, it is. It's actually a really good one for a cheap one. I just kind of had to get one in a pinch. Now, there's also things too. Sally's does sell this little powder called rice powder. I really like it. I have super, super oily skin, and you can also use blot powder from MAC, which actually is my personal favorite. Which is this one here, but I found a loose one, and then MAC suddenly came out with a loose one too, so it's just whatever your personal preference is there. But it pretty much just it mattifies your skin. You could put this on all day. Oh yeah, this is actually my coffee mug. I drink coffee out of it all day, and I drink iced coffee. Because I can't stand it hot, and it's how I escape, because yeah, I'm here at work, you can see the dryers behind me, and everything, but yes, this little powder, it mattifies the skin like you would not believe. So, if you're like me, and your skin secretes enough oil that Exxon Valdez could make money on it, this powder is perfect for you. And, you know, and I do like MAC's blot powder, because I can just keep it in my pocket, and it has that little, sponge that I can just keep applying it with, which I don't like the sponge, I think it's too heavy, for me personally, being a guy, but I just keep it on me, and literally anywhere where you feel like you get shiny, just take it, and instant matting. It mats you out. Like literally, you could be just leaving the gym and covered in sweat. And this one is a little tinted. I'm going to go back through and get the translucent one. But yeah, you can apply this all day. It won't build up, which is something I really love. Same thing with the blot powder, but the blot powder is more my favorite. It's a little bit lighter. Things like that. So just depending on your skin, it really just depends on you. Applying, that was the loose powder. This was the rice powder by Palladio. It's basically, it's just a mattifying powder. This one is tinted. I kind of don't like the tinted because it does feel a little bit heavier. So I do want to go exchange this one for the translucent. But like I said, it's just however you want to set your makeup and whatever you're used to, and depending on your skin type. So if you have drier skin, you definitely don't want to mattify it. You just want to keep it hydrated. So make sure you use a good moisturizer under there and a moisturizing primer. And so another thing I can show you too is they do now make highlighters in powdered form, which are really nice. And this one's a silver one, so just depending, and I like to use the fan brush for these. I like just, and literally just kind of lightly dusting it under my eyes. I'm going to be covered in so much powder by the time I'm done with this tutorial. But yes, and just dust it, and blend, 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 blend. But yes, depending if you were out at the club last night drinking, yeah, you're probably going to want a little bit of this. But yeah, it just gives a good nice, good hydrate. It looks a little heavier when I get close just because I've been applying so much powder on my face, but it's just ideas on how to do this. Doesn't have to take you all day, doesn't have to take forever, and you know, the easiest thing you have to do is just maybe just do your foundation, take a bronzer, and do that big E on your face like I taught you with the with your contour. Don't need blush, don't need anything like that. You can do a very simple eye, just throw on some mascara and some eyeliner and some lip gloss and go out the door. But at least your skin looks good and your makeup is set. Alright everybody, I'm going to post this. Follow me on Instagram. It's my name, Bren Batico. Follow me on, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to post this exact tutorial on there. So just feel free to add me as a friend. I love having new friends, like my page, whatever you guys want to do. Alright, thanks everyone. Have a good one.